Hi, welcome to the third part of the turret tutorial. In this part we're going to sort out the turret's AI. So we will try to set up 3 different sort of modes for the AI of shooting the closest target, shooting the weakest target and shooting the strongest target. I may add more if I can sort of think of any off the top of my head, but otherwise they're the 3 base ones that we're going to go for. Alright, so last time we finished with this. So you have your tracking and your shooting. I've got it set up with the beam stuff right now. I'll probably set up changes to the normal shooting stuff in a second, but yeah. So, follows the target and fires as it moves along. So, the first thing we're going to do is change a few things in the scene. Well, let's name some stuff first, because it's getting a bit confusing as what's what. So, enemy, turret, spelled turret wrong very badly, oh my god. Turret, game object 1, right, it's part of the path, so, path end, call this one path start, then I'll tell you what I'm going to make a game object, create empty, where are these two positioned? -5, so if I do that -5, and 0, that's midway, we'll call this path A, drag these two into there, right, then we've got, just call this floor, and then we've got a camera and stuff. Okay, that's fine. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to need a couple of enemies just to, well, how we're going to know if it's acting right. Obviously always going to shoot the same target if there's only one, so we'll have a couple moving back and forth. So first thing I'm going to do is move the start of the path from here to, I think about this is a very dumb decision on my part to move the origin, but whatever. Yeah, so we'll move it to 5, how'd you move it to 10, then, yeah, okay, split that at 10, then put the path end at 0, yeah, and then if we position, it's wrong, this right, this is done me. Oh, I'll position this so this goes in the centre, don't know why I set up like this, really dumb, whatever, -5, change this to 5, right, so now path A, the centre is in the middle, yeah. So we'll shift this over to the left at 2, duplicate it, rename this to path B, and set this one at -2. So now they'll sort of be going like up and down this way. But what I want to do is swap around where the path end and path start. There we go. There's a need for that, but at the same time there isn't. I'm just doing it for the sake of make sure I've got the right names. You'll see what I mean now, because path start, path end. So I want path B's start, path B's end. I could have left it the other way around and just sort of put the end as point A and the start as point B, but then it'll be confusing if I come back, so it's better just to sort of do that. So now if I click play, these two should just sort of go back and forth, yeah. So right now his target's this one, and that won't change because we sort of set the target statically. And we're going to change that now so it's sort of more dynamic on the target. So yeah, oops. Alright, so let's start with the code. We're going to need a new script, and this one we're going to call range checker. So what this is going to be used for is, well, obviously range checking, but we'll be using this for storing sort of all of the valid targets within the range. So we'll have this in one place, that way if any other script needs it, it's just there. Don't need to keep rehashing out this code. So we'll jump straight into that to begin with. Okay, so for our range checker, what we're going to need is a list of game objects. So what we're going to do is add another using at the top, and this is going to be system collections generic. This gives us access to lists. Well, I think you can access them as well, but you have to like add a suffix to it first, and you don't really want that, you just want write the word list, so yeah. Using the sort of using at the top makes this a lot nicer. So, list of game objects, and we'll call this targets. So yeah, and what you'll need to do on the end of this is equals new list game object, and then parentheses. There we go. We'll have a public list of strings as well. This essentially we're going to use tags to differentiate what's an enemy. So this way, if a wall was in there, it wouldn't be added as a target. This way, we can dilute what we're holding and makes it a lot nicer, and you'll always know you've got an enemy. So we'll just call this tags. Public list of tags and a private list of targets. Separate these two. Okay, so we don't need an update for this. I don't think we need a start either. Okay, so we're gonna need a void on trigger, yeah, enter, then I think it's collider and other. We're gonna need another one, and this is gonna be on trigger exit. So, yep, on trigger exit. So this means that when someone enters the trigger, the top one will run, when someone exits, the bottom one will run. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna check what's coming in. And if it's the correct thing that we want, like an enemy, then we're going to store it. If it's not, we're going to ignore it. Nice and simple. So, what we'll do is simple for loop. Put int I equals 0. Did I double space that? Yes, I did. Yep, for int I equals 0. I is less than tags, nothing. Yep, tags.count. I plus plus. Yep, simple for loop. They'll go through all of the tags that we have, and if this thing's tag matches, then we're good. So if other dot, use compare tag, and then tags I, yeah, then we want something to happen. So we'll actually need a bool first, and we'll call this invalid. We'll set this to true by default. So in here, what we'll do is set invalid to false. And break out the for loop, because if we found the tag, there's no point keep going through the loop. We already know we already know where a valid thing to be shot. So if invalid, return. So if it's still true after all of that, then we don't really want it because it's invalid. But if it's false, then we can keep going to this next bit of code. So what we'll do is list of targets to add over the game object. There you go, nice and simple. So now when we enter a trigger, if we enter the trigger with the right tag, then we can get in. Now if you wanted this to be a situation where you had to have all of these tags, you could just sort of make sure that you set it to true. Essentially start this as false, and then the second you don't find a tag, How to do that? Yeah, so if you wanted it so that these tags, you want all of these to be correct, then what you'd have to change this to is start as invalid being false, and the second one doesn't compare, set invalid to true, break out, and the rest should work. So yeah, nice and easy. With the on-trigger exit, what we'll have to do is we'll search through the current targets we have. So I again, I is less than targets count, I plus plus, and if other game object equals your targets I, whoops, then we will do those are targets that remove over the game object and return. So if we find the object, then we can remove it and break out. The reason why we do this, why we check, is because we may have objects that come in, like maybe a friendly or something wanders through. You don't really want to shoot at that, but that won't come into the list of things to shoot at, but on the exit it will still call the exit. So we want to make sure that it is in the list of objects. And by comparing pointers here, then we're good for that. Alright, so what we're going to need is a public function down here as well, and this will return the list of game objects. So this will return our targets. So we'll call it get valid targets, and then we'll just do return underscore targets. we're also going to do a second function called inRange. We'll let them pass in a game object. And we'll just see if this is in range, pretty much. And anything that's sort of a target, we know that's in range. So this is sort of a helpful function because at some point you're probably going to need to know what's in range. And this way, this always has sort of the updated list of what's in range for you. So for int I equals, int I equals 0, I is less than targets. You do the same as in the exit function above. So we're going to go through, try and find it. If we find it, return true, otherwise return false. So if go equals targets I, return true, return false. Simple. Nice, straightforward. So yeah, now we've got sort of a simple range checker, and this can be used with our sort of TurretAi to know who we're targeting at. So range checker should work fine, should compile. Yeah, no errors, great. Let's go to the TurretAi then. So with this, we're going to need to using system collections generic again, and let's see, TurretAi. We are going to have a public enum, and we'll call this AI states, and we'll have nearest, weakest, strongest. There we go. Oh, I'll also add furthest. I think it's furthest. Just 1 second. This guy know me. Okay, so they're both used, but I'm going to go for furthest. Yeah, I'm going to use furthest. Okay, whatever, 9 point. So, now I have public AI states. We'll call it AI state. And we will be nearest by default. And, right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get we need 3 scripts for this TurretAi to really be functional. So we're going to add those. So we need a tracking system. So m_tracker tracker, need a shooting system. So m_shooter, and we're going to need a range checker. So that's just for the sake of me line up, m_range. Yeah, okay. So m_tracker. Yeah. Oops. Don't know how I did that. Equals get component. Don't know why I'm blanking there. Tracking system. There you go. So now copy this. Paste it 3 times. Shooter. Range. Shooting system. Range tracker. Okay. Oh, line up these actually, and then yes, that looks nice. Anyway, okay, so now we have our 3 scripts that we're going to be needing for when using TurretAi. And what we'll do is we'll make sure that we have these. So if no tracker, or no shooter, or no range, then return. So what we're saying is if you don't have any of these scripts, you can't update, you can't run. So yeah, pretty much voiding out this. So it has to have those components for this to work. So you could leave that as like a comment or something in the code so people know. Although, if anyone can read code, that'll make pretty much complete sense. So yeah, so in this switch we will use the AI state. And then what we'll do is case nearest break. Okay, so then do this 4 times. 1 for each state. Furthest. Weakest. Strongest. Now I won't be able to do these 2 until we have a health in, because we're going to target the one with the least max health, target the one with the most max health when we have that. So we'll do these 2 first. So I'll break these into functions. So void target nearest. and copy and paste because I'm lazy. Target. I'm regretting furthest. I want farthest. Well, I know I've committed to this. You can pick whichever one you want. That doesn't really matter. This is just that's an Amy. Anyway, so we've got nearest and farthest, furthest, whatever. So essentially nearest, they'll be the opposite of each other. So what we do in nearest, we'll have to do the opposite in farthest and vice versa. So they'll pretty much be complete clones of each other. So we'll be able to copy and paste what I write nearest now and just change it slightly for farthest. So first thing I need is a list of game objects, and these will be valid targets. So what we can do now is we'll use our range, and we will do get valid targets. There you go. So now we have that list of game objects that the range check has been handling for us. Then we'll have a game, wrong one, game object, and we'll call this current target. Make sure this is set to null, otherwise it'll complain at you. Then we'll need a float for current dist, well, sorry, closest dist. Yeah, we'll set this to 0. Doesn't matter much about the float one, but target will complain if you don't set it as null, because it'll complain that it's not set. It's a bit annoying. But anyway. So now for int I equals 0. Gotta love for loops. Valid targets count I plus plus. So one thing we're gonna do is we don't mind null getting passed through, so we are going to change the tracking system's set target, and the shooting system didn't have one, so we're gonna have to add one. But we'll take that in a second. So we've got valid targets to count, and what we're gonna do is first we're gonna need to work out the current distance. So do vector3 distance. So from us to that, or is that to us? Us to that, us to that. So transform that position to valid targets I.transform that position. Okay. So now we have the distance between them, and if there's no current target or dist is less than closest distance. Okay, so essentially what we're saying here is if we don't actually have a target, then the first thing that comes through will be the target. So current target will equal valid targets I, and closest distance will equal dist. Right? So if we don't have a target, do this. Otherwise, if we do have a target, then if the distance for the current target, if the distance is less than the closest distance, then this one's closer, so that's going to be my target. So not too difficult there. Then, right, we'll sort out the set target functions now. So in the tracking system, I know I set this up and I apologise that we need to change this, but if we return false when we don't get a target, it's never going to lose its target. It'll always shoot. So yeah, let's get set is to avoid, and we're going to need to make it public. So like that. And well, what we're going to do as well, we'll make the game object private now, because it no longer needs to be set because the TurretAi set. Now obviously if you're going to use it a different way and you need it public, feel free, but in sort of this scenario we want it private. Same with the shooting system, so we'll be moving that in a second, but first just paste this function down here. So I got set target. Now I'm gonna rename some of my stuff because I have my private variables with m underscore. So I'm gonna set this as m underscore target. Control H. Find target, replace target. All. I did that the wrong way around, didn't I? Good out. Replaced. Yeah, do that. Replace all. Okay. So now every sort of version of target is now m underscore target. It's even down here, so we should change this back. Target. Oh, change the function as well. That's nice, isn't it? Good last thing. Yes, set target. Alright, so yeah, that should be fine now. Save all. Switch back to here. This may complain about some functions. Alright, I missed one. Why did I miss it? Oh, I set this one as well. God, so, there you go. Now it should be okay. Yes. I wouldn't always recommend doing Control H, or like not replacing all instantly. I'd go through them, but obviously because it's not exactly a complicated script, I could do it, just slight changes, a lot faster. But yeah, if it's a really big script, it's a lot better just to step through with that. But anyway, back to the AI script. So now, shooter, set target, current target, and well, actually, what I'll do, tracker first. Just it doesn't really matter which one you do first, but I just feel safe for this way for some reason. Set target, current target. Now, right, oh, just doing that again. I'm mad. Okay, so now the nearest one should work, and we'll just copy and paste this for this. And now what I do? There you go. I'm gonna rename this to farthest. God, not again. To furthest. I should have chose farthest. Whatever. To furthest distance. There you go. Oh, no, that's all. Yeah. So now it's gonna work out the furthest away one. Yes. Really simple, like because this distance is greater than this distance, obviously it's a further away distance, so it's further away from me. It's nothing complex, like very easy to differentiate. But obviously it is different from this, and it's easier to just keep these two places separate at this point. So if we now add in the function of target nearest and target furthest. Okay. So now we're going to go back to our Unity screen and set this up in scene and see if it all works. Okay. So we've got the range tracker. Yeah. Okay, so our range tracker is set up and our TurretAi is set up. Now let's see. Let's add them into the scene properly. So did I duplicate them? Yes, I did. They're on top of each other. That's fine. So I'm gonna set these 2 and -2. It's the other way around, isn't it? Yep, it is. 2 and -2. There we go. Although I won't actually notice in a minute. Never mind. It's not bad. Okay, so for our turret, we will need to add the 2 scripts that we just wrote. So range tracker, and we'll add 1 tag, and we'll call this enemy. And then we'll add another script, and it is going to be TurretAi. Yes. Right. And we'll start off in the nearest, then we'll check furthest. Yeah. Okay, so what you're going to need to do is, I've already done it like I've added a tag, but to add a tag, you click on here and click add tag. And then if you click this plus, a new one will sort of pop up, and then you just type in what you want to call it. So I've added enemy. Now what you need to remember is you need to go back to the object and set its tag, because it doesn't set it to the tag that you just added. I don't know why, so it would be a nice feature for it to have, but it doesn't. So you need to go back to the enemy and make sure to set the tag. So yeah, so both my enemies now have the tag of the enemy. I think I set the turret to an enemy. I did. Don't do that. Yeah, so set those 2 as enemies, and yeah, now, fingers crossed, it all should work. It doesn't work. Oh, I know what I forgot. My bad. We need to add a physics sphere glider. Yes, this was my fault. Add sphere glider. Make sure its triggers sort of tipped, and set itself a radius. So this sort of big circles your range at this point. So I'm gonna set mine to 4 because I want this to be able to leave it, so at some point it'll stop firing. Yeah. But yeah, just that's it for the sake of this. Oh, I'll also go change our projectile back to A. So, right, the smoke. Oh yeah, we're also going to need to add a rigid body to the turret. Now, the reason why we need to do this is otherwise it will not. Freeze all these. Otherwise, it won't fire. It won't pick them up. The trigger won't detect anything in the trigger. It's just how you need to. One of them needs a rigid body. If you want to look more into that, obviously you can go to the Unity sort of documentation, and it does sort of mention stuff about that. I just can't remember the reason why. Okay, so I think we can take all these, like, should be fine. These are just relative to the rigid body stuff. So you can still rotate it, but the rigid body can't rotate it. That's what it means. So anyway, for quick play. Yes. It is now Yeah, it's going for the one that's coming closest to it. I don't know how it's deciding what's close, but yeah. I may have made a mistake about having them like. I'm not sure which one's closest. We're gonna change that. We'll move path B out a little. Yeah. So actually just keep targeting this one very much. Yeah. And then if we change this to furthest, it should go through the one at path B. Bear in mind it's still set up just to shoot at this guy. And this guy's going at our range, so it's trying to go for that one. It's not smart to it. But it is. It's going for the furthest target, so but it's technically working. But obviously it's kind of a dumb turret. I feel bad for it. Okay, so bear in mind this is you'd probably have a faster turret, like bullets faster, so it'd have less of like its dumb accuracy being a problem. But yeah, so it works. It goes for the furthest target and it goes to the nearest target in the reverse sense. Like if we had a full, if we increase its range to like, I don't know, 6 goes map, yeah. It should just keep going for the other one. Yeah. It knows its target now. Then if you pause and switch to nearest, I'll go for this guy. So it's nice and simple and it works pretty nicely. Okay, so before we can set up the weakest and strongest ones, we'll need to add a health system. And I'll do that in my next video, which hopefully will be a lot sooner than this one was. So, thanks for listening, and I hope it helped. Bye.